Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Hello Miss Mia. We are from Group H. My name is Epin Sini.
And I'm Chandani Anissa Putri.
We will present about pragmatic politeness. Okay, this is the list of content we will explain. The first one about introduction to politeness in practice, phase theory like positive phase and negative phase threatening X, and phase saving strategies. And the third about politeness strategies. Next, cross-cultural pragmatics like politeness norms across culture, miscommunication due to cultural differences, strategies for effective intercultural communication, and the last is conclusion. Okay, the first we must know about the politeness. The concept of politeness in language. Politeness is a fundamental aspect of human interaction. It involves using language in a way that maintains social harmony and avoids causing offense. Politeness strategies vary across cultures, but they all share the common goals of preserving peace. And face is a concept in pragmatics that refers to a person's public self-image. It consists of two components. It's a positive face, the desire to be like, approved of, and admired, and negative face, the desire to be independent and free from imposition. And this is about face theory. Developed by sociologist Irving Goffman, is a key concept in pragmatics that explains how people manage their public image or self-esteem. It suggests that individuals have two primary types of face. The first positive face, like desire to be liked and approved of, need for social acceptance and inclusion, and want to be seen as competent and knowledgeable. And negative phase is desire to be autonomous and independent, need to be free from imposition and obligation, and want to be seen as in control of one's own action. And this is about phase threatening X. Face-threatening acts in everyday interaction, people often engage in speech acts that can potentially threaten another person's face. These are known as face-threatening acts. For example, making a direct request, giving criticism, or issuing orders can be considered PTAs. Face-saving strategies to mitigate the potential negative impact of VTAs, people employ various face-saving strategies. These strategies help to maintain both positive and negative face. Some common strategies include the first, bold on record strategy, a direct, explicit, and efficient strategy often used in emergency situations or with close relationships. The second, positive politeness strategy, a strategy that emphasizes solidarity and friend lines, such as compliments, praise, and expression of agreement. Negative politeness strategy, a strategy that emphasizes difference and respect, such as apologies, hedges, and indirect requests. And the last of record strategy, a strategy that avoids directly addressing the FTA, often using hints, suggestion, or irony. And this is the explain about the strategies of politeness. As discussed earlier, people employ various strategies to mitigate the potential negative impact of face-threatening acts. Here's a deeper dive into each strategy. The first bolt-on record strategy, direct and explicit, no attempt to minimize the FA, used in urgent situation or with close relationship. Example, give me that hand. And the second, positive politeness strategy, emphasize solidarity and friend lines, seeks to minimize the threat to the hearer's positive vibes. Example, paying compliment. You look great in that dress. Seeking agreement. Don't you think it's a beautiful day? Offering assistance. Let me help you with it. And for uh, for the third and last of strategies politeness will explain by Chandani.
Okay, so the politeness strategies in types 2 is negative politeness strategy that emphasize difference and respect, seeks to minimize the threat to the hearer's negative phase. For the examples is hedging. Phrasing requests in a tentative manner can soften the impacts. For example, I wonder if you could possibly. That sentence introduces uncertainty and politeness, making it less likely to impose. And for the apologizing, of course, starting with an apology, such as, I'm really sorry to bother you, but that acknowledges that the speaker might be intruding on the hearer's time or space, which shows respect for their needs. And the last one is using formal language. Addressing someone with a title or formal language like Your Excellency, might I request, conveys respect and acknowledge the social hierarchy, which is particularly important in cultures with high power distance. Belum belum selesai. Okay. For the fourth is off record strategy. It's indirect and implicit. Avoids directly addressing the FTA, relies on hints, suggestions, or irony. For the example, by saying it's a bit chill in here, isn't it? Can imply that the speaker wants someone to close a window without directly asking them to do so. This indirectness allows the hearer to interpret the message without feeling pressure. Oke, boleh lanjut ke slide selanjutnya. Untuk yang selanjutnya ini cross-cultural pragmatics. Politeness norms across cultures. Politeness norms vary significantly across cultures. What is considered polite in one culture might be considered rude or impolite in another. For example, the directness versus the indirectness. Some cultures, like American cultures, tend to be more direct, while others, like Japanese culture, prefer indirect communication. For formal versus informal, the level of formality used in communication can vary widely across cultures. Power distance. The power distance between individuals can influence the choice of politeness strategies. For the miscommunications due to cultural differences, impoliteness norms can lead to misunderstanding and miscommunications. For instance, the directness, a direct request from an American might be perceived as rude or aggressive in a more indirect culture. For silence, in some cultures, silence is valued and can be a powerful form of communication. However, in other cultures, silence may be interpreted as a disinterest or disapproval. For eye contact, the appropriate level of eye contact can vary across cultures. Too much or too little eye contact can be perceived as disrespectful or evasive. Boleh lanjut lagi? For strategies for effective in-cultural communication. To minimize miscommunication and build positive relationships across cultures, it's important to develop cultural awareness. We should learn about the cultural norms and values by understanding the cultural context of the people you interact with. It can help you navigate conversation more effectively and also can include learning about communication styles, social hierarchies, and values. We also need to be mindful of your own cultural bias. Recognizing your own cultural background and bias allow you to approach intercultural interactions with an open mind, reducing the likelihood of misunderstanding. The second is to be flexible and adaptable by adjusting your communication style. Being willing to modify your approach based on the cultural context can foster better communications. This might mean being more indirect in some situations for using more formal language when appropriate. We also need to avoid assumptions. Each individual is unique, and making assumptions about someone's intentions based on their cultural background can lead to miscommunication. The third one is use clear and simple language. By avoid using idioms, slangs, or jargon that may not be understood by other person. We also need to speak slowly and clearly so that it helps to give the message by particularly in cultural contexts where language proficiency may vary. For the fourth one, by active listening, we need to pay attention to nonverbal clues. Nonverbal communication can convey a wealth of information. Being attuned to gesture, facial expressions, and postures can enhance understanding. The second is ask clarifying question. If something is unclear, we might ask question and it will help us clarify meaning and demonstrate your interest in understanding the other person. Paraphrase to endure understanding also help us to heard in our own words. It helps us confirm understanding and show that you are engaged in the conversation. And the last one is empathy and respect. We should put ourselves in the other person's shoes, trying to understand the other person's perspective can foster empathy, which is crucial for effective communication. We also need to treat the other person with respect and dignity. And the last is the conclusion. The conclusion is the pragmatics is the study of language used in context.
Chandani, sorry, I interrupt
Yeah.
your presentation. So before the conclusion, I will explain more to everyone about pragmatics, maybe in Indonesia. Sorry, pragmatics. About politeness in pragmatics, maybe with Indonesia. So politeness itu jadi gimana cara kita berkomunikasi tapi dengan kesopanan gitu. Jadi gimana kita cara menyampaikan pesan tapi dengan nada yang sopan untuk menghindari misalnya perasaan
Salah pahaman.
negatif, ya seperti itu. Nah, di di dalam di dalam politeness in pragmatics itu tadi kan ada beberapa strateginya. Nah, strateginya itu berdasarkan saya tadi yang face theory. Jadi ada yang positive face, ada wajah positif sama yang negative face. Nah, kalau yang positive face itu biasanya keinginan kita untuk diakui, dihargai, dan diterima oleh orang lain. Tapi kalau yang negative face itu tuh biasanya keinginan untuk bebas, otonom, dan tidak dipaksa. Nah, contoh penerapannya, misalnya kalau kita membuat bahasa untuk permintaan, jadi itu akan berbeda ya dengan kita memberikan kritik atau pujian gitu. Misalnya kalau permintaan biasanya kita menggunakan bahasa itu yang lebih halus kayak tadi yang dicontohkan. Misalnya kalau dalam bahasa Indonesia itu kita diawali dengan bisa nggak aku minta tolong kayak gitu. Daripada kayak memerintah gitu. Kamu harusnya, nah itu kan beda tuh. Vibes-nya itu beda gitu ya. Ada yang satu halus, yang satu tuh kayak memerintah. Terus yang kedua tuh ketika kita mengkritik. Jadi kalau misalnya kita mengabaikan teori politeness dalam komunikasi, nah dalam mengkritik tuh biasanya kita akan menyakiti orang lain. Tapi kalau kita menggunakan politeness, itu penyampaian kritik kita itu akan diterima dengan baik oleh lawan bicara. Begitu pula dengan pujian gitu. Untuk memuji seseorang tuh bagaimana baiknya itu. Dan itu tuh menghindari orang menganggap bahwa apa yang kita sampaikan itu berupa perintah, kritik terbuka atau yang menyakiti dan juga menekan seperti itu. Oke, mungkin lanjut kesimpulannya oleh Chandani.
Okay, untuk the conclusion, pragmatics is the study of language used in context. The face theory explains how people manage their public image through positive and negative face. The politeness strategies are used to mitigate face-threatening acts. Cross-cultural pragmatics highlight the importance of cultural differences in language use and the implication for language learning and technique and teaching. For the language learners, It's to understanding pragmatics norm that can help learners to communicate effectively in different cultural contexts. And for the language teachers is to incorporating pragmatics awareness into language teaching can improve learners' communicative competence. And that is the conclusion and our presentation. Maybe, gimana kita nanyanya ini ya? Pertanyaannya.
Yeah. And this is our references, and we also get material from the internet and the module. So if you guys have the question, let's ask in the forum discussion. We will check and answer your question. Thank you for attention. Sorry for our mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.